Now, there's nothing harder than talking stages in a relationship because one thing about it, two things for sure. How many times are you going to tell somebody your favorite color is black? How many times are you going to tell somebody you have two siblings? Like, these questions at the beginning of the talking stage are quite annoying and they can be very just like meh. It even starts to feel like work. It starts to feel like work. Like today, I was watching a video of a girl who is saying that it is her year of the date me, not too serious. Like, I'm just like dating for the fun of it, for the sake of it, dating for 2024. And honestly, her whole year has been very tragic. Some cases are more tragic than others, but her last two dates have felt like actually problematic because her last date, apparently, she says she went on this date, she really enjoyed herself, she was excited because she also is waiting for a man so she can kick her rocks off, unfortunately. But she just wanted this man to get to the point where they actually, can have some intimacy. But once they went on the date and she was so excited about texting him and telling him like, hey, I had a really good time on the date, I would like to see you again. And she got home and she texted him exactly that. I had a really fun day, it was really nice hanging out with you, I would love to see you again, hoping that the man felt the same. He just said, okay. And that was the end of that. Like, did not respond, did not make any plans after that, did not try and contact her at all. Now, the date she was getting ready for, as she was telling us about that story for the last date, she was like, she's so excited. She's telling us all her plans, all her steps. Just step one, you need to go to the toilet and, poop the nervousness. And then you need to shave and then you need to shower. So she's just finished her poop, her shave, and her shower. And then she's like, my next step, I'm just going to go in, do my hair, get dressed, and get dressed, do my hair, and then do my makeup. And she's now officially, she's showered, she's getting her hair done, she's finished her hair. She's about to get into her getting dressed. And as she's getting dressed, she's like, guys, which outfit do I pick? Which outfit do I pick? Her phone starts to ring. You know how even if you're recording on social media, you will see your phone ring. So she's like, her phone is ringing. And then immediately after, she kind of takes a pause, comes back, and she's like, yeah, guys, he's cancelled. So I'm really not even going on this date. And she so sadly removes her clothes and just wears her pajamas and falls on the bed, like a little sad and defeated. And I'm just like, going back to dating and dealing with that, I can't even. I can't even. Another thing she said that was very interesting was like, I'm just trying to get this man to get to a point where we can actually have sex because I haven't had some in such a long time. I just want to, like, the more you talk on social media, the more the chances of you never meeting is going to happen. Like, if we chat for more than 3 days, we're probably never going to meet. So immediately she gets your number and you're chatting online. If you match, she matches you. She's like, hey, let's hang out tomorrow. As quickly as you possibly can to get to the date so that you can actually meet this person. Otherwise, you will never actually date. And that has really scared me because, well, is that what talking stage is? What are you hearing on these streets? Because, girl,
I feel like talking stage is just getting to know somebody, and it should be just that. It's not dating. I'm not actually dating you. We are talking, and that distinction is very important because sometimes, especially for the lover girls, once you start being interested in somebody, you guys have banter here and there and there before you've actually DTR'd. That period, that's the talking stage. Before he has actually said, he's taking you to a restaurant and said, will you be my girlfriend? And paid. See your 50-50, please. May Anel cannot find you. So before that, when you're getting to know each other, and this is the stage where it's very surface level information. It's me talking about the passions I have, the type of music I'm into, just to get a baseline, because I would hate to really, really like you and then find out that, you squeeze toothpaste from the middle and it's an ick for me. So this is where you get to eliminate somebody. You get to know them, just very small things, whether they set you off, whether they trigger you, the icks, the whatnot, but it's not deep information. This is not where you start saying, my grandmother, she used to beat us with a belt, so now I don't even wear belts. This is not where you say this kind of information. This is time for colors. Okay, what's your favorite color? This is time for what's your favorite band? What's your favorite pizza? Do you like pineapple? your information, your juju. Yeah, because eventually, even if you hear like of divorce cases, it's usually the small things that they're done so repetitively, and it gets to a point where you're like, okay, I hate you now. It's the small things that you ignored during the talking stage. So talking stage in time, you could get information, na could share information like passions and dreams.
Okay, I like that approach and I like that definition. However, how do you keep it spicy is the question. Because talking stages can be very, like, okay, fine, we've learned your color, your favorite, we've learned that, you know, you like to eat chicken and not beef. I've learned all that about you. But, like, how else do we step it up? And honestly, mimi najua kuchapa story can be very, very helpful. Yani unachapia mse story mnacheka huko mpaka mnakwasa kwasa. As in, you chapa stories, you enjoy yourselves. It could be talking about everything and at the same time nothing. Because when people are telling you stories about things they've experienced, things that they've seen, things they've observed, you tend to find you get to know them quite a bit more. Like, how did they react in that particular situation? Like, someone is telling you about how the boss in the morning came up late and everyone was, you know, gossiping in a corner, and then suddenly when you saw your boss, you ran to your desk and you left everyone gossiping in the corner. Like, you know, you can tell that person is a snitch. You can tell that's a snitch. But if they tell you that, oh yeah, and then I just, you know, nikagonga mwenzangu akagonga mwenzake hivyo hivyo, kila mtu akadisperse, so our boss didn't even notice that we were gossiping. You get to, oh, okay, that's a team player, that's a nice person, that's how he reacts. Because exactly how he reacts in the office is exactly how he's going to react to you in real life. Like, that's exactly what's going to happen. When stuff hits the fan, he's going to dip and leave you to suffer for yourself. So, like, having stories, exchanging stories about how your day was, even stories as basic as something you saw on the internet and their reaction to it and your reaction to it, it can really help. It can go so far as to helping you figure out what this person is, what kind of person they are, the way they react to certain things, and then help you figure out whether or not you're interested in moving this from talking stage to something else.
So basically, it's a fact-finding mission.
It is.
You're just on a hunt for information, and then you see how this information affects you. And also, as you get to put them in positions where you get to gauge how they react to things, how they react to competition and challenges. Because the people who are just very too competitive. I saw this girl on TikTok where she said they were going for a fun bicycle ride, but then her competition kicked in, and now she was just riding like a mad woman. That man was shocked. He could not believe it, because I thought there was something cute we could do after breakfast, but no, akuko. Anasema, I won. I didn't even know we were racing. We've also seen like horror stories about where a girl and a boy went for hiking, and then the guy left her in the middle of nowhere to challenge her to see if she's a crybaby. This is now you get to know this person is an animal and he will never see me again. We also saw Emily in Paris, where this man left her at the top of the mountain.
I haven't watched it
because
yet.
his baby mama called. I am so sorry. I am so sorry for that spoiler. But you know, these are things they could have figured out during the talking stage to realize, even if you get into a relationship, I will never be a priority to this man. He will always be at the beck and call of somebody else. So maybe this is not long term and I should not be totally invested. Also, when you guys are having a date and his mother calls and says, hi, come out, please, I can't reach the remote. And he abandons you over there with your food to go get the remote for his mother. Is that not a sign enough? So I feel like just keep it easy. Don't be too invested and fact find. You get information and see how it favors you.
Another thing that I found really helpful, actually, especially for me when I was dating, is like, you know, these personality tests where you have a personality test to tell you whether you're introverted, extroverted, ambiverted, all those things. I found that some of those things were very helpful for you to be able to help someone not only get to know them, but even help them figure themselves out. I remember at some point during the earlier parts of my relationship with my husband now, we would share these kinds of quizzes, like these kinds of challenges, like a personality test, and they'd tell you what their personality was, and you can now read through that, and you're like, oh, so this is what your strengths are, this is what your weaknesses are, this is how I can help, this is how all these funny compatibility tests and all of these things. Sometimes they can be very entertaining, but they can also be such a huge help when it comes to learning about each other. What are your love languages? Someone is like, what the hell is a love language? You're like, oh, you don't know about love languages? Okay, this is what love languages are, and these are what they do. This is what it entails. So which one do you feel like works for you or suits you better, so you can learn to better care for them, and they can learn to better care for you, and that helps a lot with figuring out whether you're even compatible. Because honestly, so the way some people just love you, you're like, ugh, sasa huyu anaosha hizi mavyombo ndio nifanye, but for them the act of service is a love language for them. So all these quizzes, all of these funny things, there's even cards now, like cards where you can do a card a day, maybe exchange the questions, like different cards for different aspects. Is it intimacy? Is it just getting to know this person? Is it the personality? Is it the family? Blah blah blah. These cards, it's a deck of cards which helps you like with questions. It has questions on them. They even online nowadays. Like there's so many quizzes and little challenges and little questionnaires which can help you figure out each other, and that can really go so far as to ensure that you're on the right track. Don't waste each other's time, because sometimes you're like, we hiyo ya kwanza uko like we itakuwa ngumu hivi, ndo nafanyanga kukianza kuchomeka moto kwa hii nyumba, that's what you're gonna do. You're like, it's not me, baby boy out.
He's going to rescue the picture frames.
Imagine, gosh, the cat over you.
And also, as in, just talking and having good banter and doing activities together doesn't cut it. You now have to get your flirts on. You need to be good at flirting, because I feel like it's that chemistry. It's that will they, won't they, that keeps the conversation going. It's that mystique. You need to be very, you need to know how to flirt. And it's flirty banter, but not too much. It becomes very sexualized, because that also becomes an ache when every conversation turns into something sexual.
What
you
color
get
panties are you wearing right now?
so fast.
Oh.
You're like, oh, I'm about to shower. They're like, without me? Oh, like, what? I'm about to go to sleep without me. And I'm like, what? What do you mean without you? I'm in my house. Or you're like, oh, I'm about to drink water. Oh, I can give you something else to drink. If every conversation circles back to sex, it becomes icky very quickly. So you have to find that balance of playful, flirty banter, and it's very delicate, because one minute, and also it depends on the person. This is where you get to know.
Depends on the person.
If their congosity is high,
if they are slow,
okay.
Oh, gosh.
If they're slow, you're gonna get mad, because imagine you've given somebody a very intelligent, flirty joke,
like you've really thought about it,
and then they connect it to like, this is the one, this is the man I'm gonna marry.
God
but
damn.
not somebody else.
Oh, you make such an interesting pun. Umefikiria mpaka umeingia chat GPT. Alafu kimutu kinakwambia, ha? Question mark. What do you mean, ha? Question mark. Can you go? Nonsense.
So that will really determine whether it's going to go hot, or it's going to die in its tracks.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to ghost you and you'll never see me again. Because what do you mean, huh?
Imagine somebody over there on their profile that really sapiosexual. I like.
Na ukimpatia intelligent
Ukimpatia
joke.
intelligent. Akwati
Ajui.
ashiki.
Come on.
There's a jam now too. The guy dating is Now another one is your aspirations in life. What are your dreams about the future? Sometimes it's good to have those abuju moments where you talk about what do you see yourself being in like 5 years, in 10 years, in whatever years. Not only does it help you figure out whether this person is planning on getting married or settling down anytime soon, it also helps you see whether or not you're aligned. Because someone may be thinking about, in 5 years, I want to leave the country, I want to be in a whole different country, working, doing studying and whatever. And you're like, child, in 5 years, I'm probably going to be working really hard to make sure that I have gone from my supervisor level to managerial level, which means we're not aligned, babes. We're not aligned. You start hearing someone saying that in 2 years they want to go back to school and study and get their master's degree, but you know very, very well in 2 years you're going to be done with your master's degree, which means you're probably going to have to start paying that student loan that you already accumulated. So having a partner who needs finances to go back to school doesn't align with you financially. Do you really want to be part of that mess? Do you really want to be over there figuring out how to pay for your student loans while simultaneously helping someone else pay for their student school fees. Like, it's very tricky. All of these things, aspirations, what the future is looking like, all of these are things that help you figure out whether or not you're going to have a space or a place for each other in a few years. Or is it cute now? Let's just, bump uglies for a year and then everybody goes their separate ways. All of these things are determined by what the future is predicted into being. Or they have no plans for the future. Unajua huyu ni kunisumbua, huyu nisumbua. Anyway, that's been our show. What are other questions or what are other things that you do as strategy, to help you figure out whether or not you're compatible with someone during talking stage? Or what do you do to keep talking stage spicy? Let us know at Kathomi at Turife. Bye for now.
Wewe umedunga kamini bila nini, usiulize ni nini, usiulize mi nini. I'm a gentleman, yes I am. Nipate baby kwenye bar, uliza shorty what you drinking. You know you're rolling with a gentleman, na uliza utapewa